the Kato or Kato, however you want to pronounce it, because I've heard it both ways. I like the build. It has removable nozzles. I think that's a great feature. I like all these different angles. I think that's gorgeous, personally. Made out of metal. It feels heavy in the hand. It feels quality. The cable feels nice. Got a little buffer there for cases. Ear hooks are flexible. That's good for fit. I don't have a lot of complaints. Maybe, yeah, that's a little heavy, but that's what also lends to its feel of quality. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like it. How does it sound? Bass, it's to my preferences. It's good. It has enough mid bass for me. Has this kind of growl and bite to it that I look for with bass guitars. It sounds good. You get into like the, lower mids and the mids. Sounds solid. Maybe a little bit of mud here and there, but like super rare for me. This is again pretty close to my preferences, or right darn to it. Really, I really like how this does bass and mids. You get into the upper mids and treble. It's a little bit more of like a laid back, chill vibe. And that kind of transfers to everything else, right? Because if this is a little more laid back and chilled, everything else kind of comes up a little and fills that gap. So, the overall vibe of this IM, sufficient air, by the way, good amount, but like definitely not a lot of it. Maybe even a tad air light. But yeah, the overall vibe is just like this chill, laid back experience. Nothing came off too much. Nothing ever came off too much. Occasionally, I wanted a little bit more here and there from certain regions, but like, I really like the Kato. I think this is an excellent IEM. Technicalities are solid. I think, for the price, when you compare it to something like the 7 Hertz Zero, huge step up. You can hear the sound difference, even though these are tuned pretty dang similarly. Like when I was listening to this, I was like, And then I like grab this and then go back and forth. And it's like, no, there's a big difference here. Yeah, huge difference in the technicalities. That's what you're paying for there. But kind of a similar vibe. When compared to the Aria, it's like Aria is like this unrefined thing where kind of jumps out at me at certain times and hurts me. This is like the refined final version that it sounds good to me. Nothing ever jumped out. Nothing at all hurt me or was too much. It might be for you. Maybe it's too much for you, but yeah, for me, I found this to be a really kind of chill, laid-back experience. When I compare it to the Timeless, these are kind of similar in prices. Timeless has a bit better instrument separation. But the Kato has a bit more of like this kind of like punch, and because it's a little more chilled and laid back, especially in the upper treble, a lot of songs it comes off so much smoother and just more relaxing, more enjoyable with the Kato over the Timeless. I like the Woo better than both of these, but if I could only have one of these, that would be a hard pick. Hard to say. When you compare it to the Olina SE, however, that's where things get a little tricky for me because I love I love this IEM. The Woo and the Olina SE are my two favorite IEMs right now, and I go back and forth. They're what I listen to most because this hits my HRTF in just like the right place. It really does. And the Woo, it just the techs and the bass. If I could combine these two IEMs into one IEM, it'd be the perfect IEM for me. I swear. That's where this gets tricky because tech-wise, these are pretty comparable. Like AB back and forth, volume matched. These are pretty comparable, and this is a lot more affordable. A lot more affordable. Yeah, this comes down to preference. This comes down to preference. If you want that more laid back, chilled experience, the Kato is very much worth the buy. The Olina SE, it's my pick though, because it's it's more expensive than Zero. It's a little bit more expensive than Aria, but it's cheaper than both of these, and I think I like it I think I like it better than Timeless and Kato, actually. Tuning wise, absolutely. The only one that competes with this right now for me is the Woo. So that's where this gets tricky because I can recommend the Kato. I think this is a great IEM. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. And build, excellent. Overall, excellent. But because I've heard this, that's where I lean. So I lean Olina. That's kind of the conclusion of this. We'll talk about a couple tracks here, just be a little bit specific. Queens of the Stone Age, the way you used to do. Bass really stood out for me with this song. It sounded really growly. It sounded really, nice and had this bite to it. I enjoyed that. I can hear the bass overdrive. All the harmonics sounded like they were in check. Awesome. Audio Slave showed me how to live. This plays Audio Slave so well because it has that chilled, laid back vibe. Nothing ever comes off too much, and that's one of those bands that it can occasionally come off too much. Just is what it is with the recording. Jay-Z's and Alicia Keys' Empire State of Mind. This had the best replay on the table for that song. The other two songs I preferred Olina actually, just because of how it's tuned. But this song I preferred this. It seemed to smooth everything out. It just made the track more enjoyable for me overall, especially with Alicia Keys' vocals, especially with the piano. The Kato it sounded a little bit better actually overall, just for that track at least. And then Walk on Whiskey, Old Dominion. Great replay. It's awesome. Again, I had no complaints with the Kato. It's just when there were songs that were more guitar focused, specifically guitar focused, I prefer the Olina SE over the Kato just because of how it presents guitar. Kato, I think Kato does bass guitar maybe a little bit better actually, but yeah, because like if I'm listening to the Kato, that's what's coming out to me. It's like the bass guitar is what's coming out to me. When I'm listening to Olina SE, it's like super balanced and I can hear into everything. And then like I just tend to lean into guitar because that's what I lean into. So yeah, the Kato. I think this is a great IEM. Personally, I prefer the Olina SE, and it's a little bit more affordable. But if that's a bit too much for you, and you've tried this, and you're like, I don't know, I want something more chill, check out the Kato. This is a great IEM. Yeah. Leave any questions in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.